When you talk about your business with other people, do you give an honest picture of what it's actually like running a business? Or do you put it out through a rose-tinted perspective so that you just share the good bits and maybe not the bad bits? Or do you just avoid it altogether? Do you, when you're asked, how's work going? Do you just say, oh, it's great, thanks, yeah? Because people see how hard you work from the outside. So if it wasn't great, then why are you doing it? It's your choice to run a business. And I think these are the kind of things that we all do as business owners. I know I have, hold my hands up, I have definitely glossed over some of the challenges and made it look better than it is. When I'm talking with my friends and my family, and probably even on social media over the years as well, in that trying to make it out to be, fantastic when sometimes it isn't. However, and this is a super important thing I want to talk about today, at this moment in time, I am genuinely proud of my business. And it's not because anything fundamental has changed. It's because my perspective on my business has changed. And that's what I want to talk about how important it is to think about where you are at in terms of how far you've come rather than how far you've still got to go. Because that goalpost is never, ever going to be reached. There's always going to be more you can do. So taking a moment out, this is the end of the year. This is my last podcast I'm recording for the year. And I wanted to take this moment to reflect on, how my attitude towards my business has fundamentally and honestly and authentically changed, which has meant I'm enjoying it now more than I ever have, despite all the challenges that are always going to be there.
So the question is this: how do entrepreneurs like us who don't have an endless supply of cash, how do we leverage the best apps, virtual assistants, automation tools and systems to scale our businesses, increase our profits and have more time to do what we love to do each day? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name's Dr. Steve Day and this is Systemize Your Success.
So I'm recording this after jumping off my company meeting with my staff, where we reflected on the year. We talked about the things that have gone really well and some of the things that we maybe didn't achieve that we set out to achieve. I asked my staff what they're most proud of in their work, and all in all, we think we're doing pretty good. We're actually pretty happy with where we've come. And I talked about the fact that there's this whole theory of the gap and the gain, and we can look at any situation and say, yeah, we've still got X, Y, and Z to do. Or we can say, look, how we've done A, B, C has been absolutely nailed. And this is how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling fantastic about where we have come. And that is fundamentally the difference that I've appreciated over the past 6 to 12 months, and actually more so in the past 3 or 4 months. I've been working a lot with a coach on this, about really changing my mindset to a point where for the first time ever, I sat down with a family member and they asked me, how's business going? And I genuinely said, it's going fantastic. It's not actually that I'm earning anything particularly more than I was a year ago. And in fact, I'll be honest, our revenue is down from 12 months ago. But what the difference is that right now I feel that my business is giving me what, in terms of my values, is most important. It's giving me an environment where I enjoy going to work. I don't dread any meetings with any of my staff. In fact, I look forward to those meetings. I look forward to the challenges that my clients bring me. I enjoy working with every single one of my clients I'm working with. There's no one client that, they book a meeting with me or they jump on a call, I'm thinking, deep down, I'm like, this knot in my stomach. And in the past, I've had that. I have chosen to work with people, whether it was conscious decision or subconscious, whatever, but I have worked with, I've worked with people that haven't shared a common value set with me. So it has been challenging. And when you're starting a business, I get it. We all are in survival mode. We need that next client. We need to pay our bills, pay our staff, pay our mortgages, whatever. And so we do sometimes take on both staff, if we're desperate, we need someone, but also clients who maybe aren't the perfect fit to work with us. They're not got the same value set and they're not on the same mission that we want to take them on. And so it's a challenge and it's stressful and it creates extra work and costs extra energy. And all in all, it's not good or healthy for you or the business. And so one of the big things that I have spent a lot of time doing recently is stopping looking at the business development in terms of growth, but looking at it in terms of who are we working with, as in clients, who am I working with as in staff, what are we actually like putting out to the world, so in our marketing, and how does that actually reflect, or what does that actually provide me as an individual and my staff in terms of lifestyle? And we're coming up to Christmas now. This will be published in the new year, but as I record this, we're coming up to Christmas. And one of the big things that really made me acknowledge this is that I've booked 2 weeks off over Christmas. And I said to my staff, like, do you want to take 2 weeks off? And they all said, yeah. So they've got 2 weeks off as well. So basically, we're closing the business down for a couple of weeks. And I know not all businesses can do this. I know that many service-based businesses, you will have to stay open and provide services to clients, etc. But what I've realized for me personally, my highest values were freedom. Like, one of the big reasons I quit medicine was because I felt that I'd lost the choice to actually live my life in the way that I wanted to. Yep, I got paid well. Yes, it was satisfying work. And yeah, I did good. Like, I helped people out and I enjoyed the work. But it also at a significant cost to my personal life, to where I live, to when I work, to when I could take time off. And it was, for me, that those things were weighing heavily on me. And so I made that decision to quit and to emigrate to Sweden, like big, bold choices for this vision of freedom. And what I've realized that growing this business, starting this business, was that actually, like, in the beginning days, like, I'd actually created more of stress and trap for myself than I ever had with my work in the hospital. And over the years, I've come to really focus the business down, to keep it manageable and small size, to have the time to be able to see how I can make it and grow it in a way that continues to serve my highest values. And one of those values is my family. And so one of the things that I did badly in the beginning when I started the business was to actually put the business first, thinking that if I just focus on the business now, I'll have that time in the future with my family. The problem was, my family's here now. Like, the day that I need to be there for my family is today. And if I then continually think that when I hit a certain arbitrary goal, I'll then step back and spend time with my family, then I'll probably miss out on actually the whole point of me having a business in the first place, of quitting my job, of emigrating to Sweden. Like, having the time and the focus and the presence to be with the people I love is why I started this. So not to do that, to defer that into the future, is just counterintuitive. Like surely I should be living now the way that I set out to, and coming from that place of freedom. That's how we can actually grow the business, and keeping that in mind, but continue to grow the business in a path that serves that, rather than doing it the way around. It's like working really hard now to not work later. Of course, you've got to put work in. I work really hard a lot of the time, but I also have created a business that allows me to have freedom. And that's because that's my highest value. That may not be yours, and that's fine. So you need to work out, I think, what really is important to you, and to make sure that the business you're creating right now actually gives you that. And if it does, so for example, going back to that question, like, how's work going, Steve? Now, I could, and I have done many, many times in the past, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, I've got some staffing issues at the moment. I've just lost a member of staff that was really, really important to me. And like, money's not really coming in. I'm not really making much. I'm taking much home. I've got a couple of clients that I'm finding really difficult. Like, these are all of the stories that are going on in the back of my mind when someone asks me that question. And so when I've answered it, I've either just glossed over it and just said, yeah, it's all fine. Yeah, no, it's really good. Enjoying it, and that's it really, and then we move on the conversation. This week I was asked last week I was asked the same question, and I took like 5 minutes just genuinely and authentically talking about how proud I was of the business I've created, of the freedom that it provides me, of the joy I get from the clients, of my staff. And I did so like with complete like authenticity, without trying to like show off or be like, oh, look at me. It was just me saying, like, from my heart, this is the way it is. And I reflect on after I did this, and I came with it, this is literally the first time ever I've actually answered that question with like genuine like pleasure in actually talking about it, even though fundamentally my business hasn't really changed. It's just the way that I'm perceiving the business. It's the way that I am now enjoying it rather than it being a stress. And one of the big things is like, what is important, but also thinking about, am I looking at what I haven't achieved or what I have achieved, or where I'm at now rather than where I think I should be in the future? Like, all of those things have allowed me to live with much more presence and appreciation of the moment, and therefore to enjoy what I have right now. And I reflect on a couple of the conversations I've had over the past year, really. Not a couple, many conversations I've had over the past year with I have a group of what I call my elite clients, and we do a mastermind every week. And I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but in that session at the start of every week, we share the biggest win that we've had. And if I go back, say, 12 months, often the wins were around systems, they're around business, they're around achievements and goals or targets or revenue or whatever it was. And they now still come in now and again. But on the whole, the majority of the comments people make about what's the win of the week, as we call it, is all about freedom. It's about personal development. It's about time with family, with friends, doing sports and hobbies. It's about delegation, that they don't have to deal with decision making anymore. It's about having a system in place to allow stuff to happen without their involvement. It's so much more about giving people the time and the energy and the presence to live in the moment, to enjoy their lives right now. And I think that's really affected me. I've seen these results with the clients and about what they are talking about that's important to them. I've been also working with a coach myself on this kind of stuff, and it's really actually coming to a point where I'm genuinely believing it. Like, I am enjoying my work. Thankfully I have got a revenue coming in, and therefore so I'm not like fighting for every single sale now, whatever. I can be more selective with the people I work with, and I know that's a luxury for some people when you're getting started. I get that, but at some point, like, the difference for me wasn't that suddenly I was like, I was rolling in cash and therefore I could just like sack some clients and like get them in. It's like, no, I made a conscious effort to start attracting people I like working with, that respected my time, that respected my staff, that genuinely had a similar vision of what their businesses were about. So if you want to come and scale your business to 10 million, I'm probably not the coach for you. But if you want to scale a business while having freedom, while enjoying your life right now, and to understand how to do that in a way that you can grow but without it becoming stressful, then I'm probably a good person to speak to, because that's the mission I'm on for myself. And this isn't some pitch for me, you signing up for my coaching program. I'm just trying to say, like, this is how I've had to think about not only me personally and the way I perceive my business, but who I want to work with. And it's come, like, the evidence is there that the people I'm working with, so the clients that I've chosen to take on and work with, that they are now talking about all the things which I hold dearly to me as their wins. And that's a product of the fact that these people, whether you call it selection or whatever, like, they have come into this. I've attracted them through talking about my work, through talking about my values, and being selective about who I actually allow into the business. And that probably is one of the fundamental things that has allowed me to reflect on where I'm at now, about the achievements I've made, about how much the business, like how proud I am actually of what I have achieved, rather than just thinking, well, I should be doing this much revenue. Like, all business coaches have always said, like, set a revenue target for the next year, like, push for the sales. And I talk to sales coaches, and they're like, yeah, you've got the end of the, like, set out the end of month targets, and you've got to push for that, and get on the phone and make 50 phone calls, make sure you get that sale in. And I get that business is about sales. I understand that we can't have business without sales. We have to make money. But I also get that actually, for me, having a business that I enjoy working in, that is not stressful, that is growing in a natural way, that attracts great people, great staff, and that it provides a community and a culture that allows people to be their authentic selves. Like, that for me is just like, I'm so proud of it. And so, yeah, that's it really. I want to just reflect on some of the realizations I've had, big monumental mindset shifts about what it is, what success means to me. And I ask all my clients, all my guests, like, what does success mean to you? And, for me, success is being able to live right now with security, but also freedom. And that's it. Being able to enjoy the time I have in a present, like being present with the people I love, but also enjoying the work I am doing along the way. And I think those two things need to, for me, marry up for it to be true success. So that's it. I know you're going to listen to this in the new year, so I won't say happy holidays, but I will say happy new year. And I wish you all the best for 2025. If you're listening to this in the future, then I wish you all the best for whatever time of year it is for you right now. And if you've enjoyed this episode, I would love for you to share it, to comment on it, to rate it, and to let me know what you think and what you are most passionate about and what drives you in your business and what you're most proud about in your business. And finally, what does success truly mean to you? Thank you very much. Bye.